Today we're going to talk about bells and things that you can find at the Dollar Tree or your local dollar store to help your kiddo with their gross motor skills. Stay tuned. So fun. So this is a set of like 4 bells with a little Velcro strip. And you could totally adapt this to be smaller with like a little extra Velcro. I mean, you could probably, like if you were crafty, make this. I personally am not crafty, so I spent $1 on it. I love these, you guys. Oh my gosh, they're so fun. So I got these during Christmas, like the Christmas time. So that is the one thing about the Dollar Tree is if you are watching this and it's out of season, they may or may not have it in stock, and that's always kind of a bummer. But also good news about the Dollar Tree / local dollar stores is a lot of times they have something similar that'll come in the next season. What I love about this specifically is that the silver beads are really shiny, and anything shiny really helps kiddos that have low vision or that are like infants, right? So as your vision develops, things like mirrors or shiny objects or things that make noise or that are shiny and make noise can really help encourage a kiddo to start tracking or turn their head. So hanging these up, these would be amazing for a little room, which I'm going to be doing a video on soon. Anyways, back to these guys, I am going to show you a couple of ways that you can utilize things like this to encourage your kiddo to improve their gross motor. So let's get started. Those of you who don't know, I do not have any kiddos of my own, so a lot of times I will use my super fancy baby doll, baby Eric, showing you just how you could utilize these bells to interact with your kiddo. First idea is to almost put it on as like an anklet. Actually a pretty good size. Now it might like slip down to a kiddo's kind of like their calf. You're gonna obviously wanna monitor this. Anytime you put something on a kiddo's body, you're gonna wanna make sure that it's safe, that it's not irritating their skin, that it's not too tight. But what I love about this is as the kiddo would move their leg, it's gonna make noise. It will also help them these bells are really shiny, and so focusing on the deep neck flexors, so getting them to look at their foot and wondering, oh, what is that noise? And so this motion as a kiddo lifts and kind of tilts their neck down, that is strengthening the deep neck flexors in your neck, which you need in order to pull to sit. When you pull to sit, you want to see that chin tilted down instead of your head lagging backwards. So if you're pulling your kiddo to sit and their head is back like this, you want to work on bringing that chin down, and a lot of ways to do that include kind of getting them to like look down at their body or bring their eyes from just staring at the ceiling to more in front of them. Like, what are they doing in midline? They could kick their legs together. You can encourage them to grab it on the same side, and you can also encourage them to grab cross body. This is going to be harder for them. You can have them grab it by supporting the limbs underneath as they play. You can also put it to their hands. Now I will say that you probably don't want your kiddo to try and put these in their mouth, so I would be careful of that. And it is going to be a lot looser on their arms, so depending, you might want to get some extra Velcro. But you can kind of play with your baby doing this. You can try to get them to pull to sit, because that will make noise. You can have them try to play with it at midline. I like it on the legs probably the best. If the kiddo is able to sit up, you can have them work on grasping and holding it and shaking, especially if they struggle with bringing their arms up against gravity. So if you have it on their arms and you're kind of supporting underneath, you can have them try and shake their arms themselves. Move the bell itself from the other arm. You can have them try to hold on to it and shaking. You guys are going to probably be so sick of those bells by the end. And then the last one for baby specific is when you're working on rolling and getting this arm to go across. This, you can kind of use it almost as a verbal cue so that they can bring it over. So they know, this limb, it makes noise, don't forget about me. Something else you can do, if you put like another strip here, if you had a kiddo that's older and they were in a gait trainer, you could remind them, okay, make the bells go, and they might enjoy that sound and then be more motivated to move that limb. That noise is helping create that mind-body connection. These are great to hang up. So if you have a kiddo that you're working on like tummy time with, and you're working on grasping, so if you had this hanging up on a wall or hanging from the couch, or you had somebody holding it, and then they could work on weight shifting over and playing with these bells, right? So I'm gonna help them weight shift over, and then they're gonna kind of try to grab them. You can also work on head control in this position. Obviously, baby Eric has no head control, but you can kind of stabilize through the elbows and then use this to try and get the kiddo to look up if you're working on head control. Another way, especially if you have a kiddo who has some significant delays and their head down like baby Eric is, you can kind of work on extending through this trunk and get them motivated, like, where are the bells? Eric, find the bells for Miss Lauren. And then they might be able to look up and try to kind of grab them with like their thumb or their finger. Anything you can do to kind of get them to reach and grasp. Another thing you can do is if a kiddo is working on midline, you can have them try to grasp here. You can have them try to track. So as baby Eric is rotating his head, his body is kind of coming with them, which is pretty typical. And then you can see if they'll grasp here and then try to guide them over that way. Again, you want to be a little bit careful because this one does have some little metal hoops that attach the bells. You want to really only utilize these when you're right there with the kiddo to avoid any choking hazard. I hope you guys found these ideas helpful in order to utilize just different inexpensive toys to help motivate kiddos, as well as to work on purposeful and intentional gross motor activities so that your kiddos are more able to move in space confidently. So please, if you found this video helpful, like and subscribe. It helps the channel be more visible to other parents and therapists who are looking for education like this. Thanks so much.